Coming up on Ozarks News Journal, what's next for our university president? Getting the H1N1 vaccine is getting easier for a certain part of Missouri's population.
And city residents aren't letting their urban surroundings put a stop to their green thumbs. Ozarks News Journal starts now. Hello and welcome to Ozarks News Journal. I'm Charlie Keegan.
And I'm Katie Reed. Each week we take an in-depth look at some of the biggest issues affecting Southwest Missouri. We're glad to have you with us. First up today.
On Monday of this past week, I called Brian Hammonds, who is the chair of the Board of Governors at Missouri State, and told him what I wanted to do and that I wanted to inform the board of that Friday. And then on Friday I informed the board of that.
President Michael T. Nitzel met with the news media to respond to questions about his recent retirement announcement. Nitzel was asked if the university's difficult budget situation played a role in his decision to step down.
Someone had brought that up before, and I said, if you made decisions based on difficult budgets in the state of Missouri for higher education, you'd be a day on the job.
Nitzel says he won't be going away completely and plans to head back to the classroom after his time as president is through.
It's the reason most of us got involved in higher education to begin with, and so there's a tug back to that.
Nitzel will remain the Missouri State President for the next year while the members of the university complete a national search for his replacement.
It turns out that through all the tough times we're facing, it's the young people that are most optimistic. A poll conducted here at Missouri State shows the younger you are, the more optimistic you are about the future of our economy. The poll asked if people think they'll be better or worse off economically a year from now. 60% of those ages 18 to 34 think they'll be better off, while just 21% of those over 55 have that view.
The H1N1 virus has now become the dominant influenza virus around the globe. The World Health Organization says there have been an increase in many regions. The WHO's point person on H1N1, Dr. Kaiji Fukuda, says the virus is infectious as other forms of seasonal flu and tends to cause more complications. The WHO says the virus continues to increase throughout North America, Europe, and Asia, and that disease activity is difficult to predict. The good news, says Fukuda, is that the WHO has not seen big mutations in the virus since it first emerged. This makes treatment and vaccines more consistently effective.
Due to the shortage of H1N1 vaccines, the Missouri Department of Health has temporarily suspended a bill that prevents pregnant women and children under the age of 3 from receiving H1N1 vaccines containing thimerosal. I spoke with the Springfield Greene County Health Department about this suspension and the high-risk groups it affects. Thimerosal is a mercury-based preservative used in some vaccines. In the past, there has been debate on how it affects pregnant women and children.
There was some concern that this preservative caused autism and other things. There's no real scientific proof that that's the case. As a matter of fact, there's been several studies done that really show no linkage to thimerosal or any developmental issues with kids.
A few years ago, a bill was passed in Missouri that banned pregnant women and children from getting any vaccines containing thimerosal. But the bill also included a provision saying if there is a shortage of vaccines or a disease emergency, the Director of Health can overturn the ban.
We believe, based on the data, that pregnant women are about 4 to 5 times more likely to be hospitalized and have adverse reaction if they get H1N1. So it's very important for pregnant women to get it. Small children as well are likely because their immune systems are not as well developed as an adult.
Cindy Kavanaugh has 2 boys under the age of 3. She currently isn't worried about giving her kids shots containing thimerosal. But it wouldn't take much to convince her to risk her boys getting H1N1 before possibly harming them in the long run.
Probably if any one of them really was convinced that it has caused autism in kids, I probably wouldn't do it. Even just one doctor that was really convinced. I've not met one yet that's really convinced. So, yeah, I'll probably just take one.
Laura Daly is 6 months pregnant and has talked with her doctor about whether waiting for a thimerosal-free H1N1 vaccine is worth it.
Scares me, especially since it's a new vaccine, but I think I work in the health profession, so I think definitely getting the vaccine, the benefits of it outweigh the risk of the potential autism that they say it could cause.
If you have questions about H1N1, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services has set up a toll-free number that's answered 24 hours a day. That number is 1-877-FLU-4141.
Buying your produce from the neighbor down the street may become a new trend here in Springfield. Urban gardening, which is being practiced in Kansas City and St. Louis, is making its way here. Erica Brame has more.
About 1 year ago, a local resident decided she wanted to have her own urban garden.
Was daydreaming about having an urban farm, and so I started calling people within the city, you know, people in planning and zoning and whatnot.
She says urban gardening was sort of in a gray area in the city's zoning codes.
After months that we were ready to go and give a little presentation and just kind of see what the zoning commission was going to say. Okay. And at that point, they made the recommendation that there be a task force formed.
Danielle Neal says there was only one major problem with these types of gardens.
I'd say the biggest issue had to do with traffic and congestion in a neighborhood, and having a retail operation in a neighborhood, which we don't allow any retail sales from a site in a single residential neighborhood. So
Millsap says that is one thing she wishes she could do in her neighborhood.
At the same time, I'm kind of a firm believer at supporting small businesses like that, and if you can walk and get your hair cut, or if you can walk across the street and get your mower fixed, or walk down the street and buy your produce, you know, to me it sounds good.
But she is happy now that after almost a year of meeting and planning, she can start her new urban garden. The ordinance passed through Springfield City Council on November 9th. In Springfield, Erica Brame, Ozarks News Journal.
Springfield is helping the homeless this winter. The Veterans Coming Home Center at 816 North Jefferson is seeking donations of winter clothing to help the homeless. Some specific items on their list of needs are socks, long underwear, coats, hooded sweatshirts, blankets, and personal care kits. The center is also looking for volunteers to help cook meals for the homeless on Sundays. If you'd like to help out, call 417-866-3363.
In a matter of seconds, the small community's high school was left in pieces on the ground. Well, just as quickly, the community joined together to pick up those pieces and start again.